afternoon, everyone, and welcome into a brand new season here on the Brian Bailey Show. Man, this is a great time of the year as East Carolina Pirate football getting cranked up, getting set for the opener at Michigan at the Big House. High school football starts August the 18th. They started practice on July 31st, but it's just a great time of the year. It's a hot day today, so we're going to get right to the show and dive right in with the head football coach at East Carolina, Mike Houston, the 22nd head coach in East Carolina Pirate football history. He won the Birmingham Bowl last year, beating Coastal Carolina 53-29, and he had a hot one today for practice. Coach Houston joins us from his office on campus at East Carolina. Coach, how hot was it today?
It was warm out there. It looked more like Eastern North Carolina today. I don't know what that was last week, but it was good.
Yeah, last week was kind of a teaser, wasn't it? Because you don't usually get that until, late September, early October?
Yeah, mid-October.
Yeah.
I mean, that felt like you were back up in the mountains.
When you look at this football team, obviously from the outside looking in, everybody sees that you lost the likes of a Holton Ahlers, a Keaton Mitchell, Isaiah Winstead. But the thing that I like about what you've had to say so far, if I played for Mike Houston, I want to be a guy because, as you said, or a dude, either one. Because if I'm playing and you come up to me and say, hey, man, you're a dude, I mean, that's going to mean a whole lot. You say you've got dudes, you've got guys, and the great quote you've had so far was, we don't know who the guy's guy is yet, but we're going to find out. Is that going pretty well?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. And, the thing I'm pleased with is just seeing some guys that you hoped would step up, and, they're getting opportunities and they're stepping up. And, it's consistency. I mean, I think that's what we started to see from some of those guys that have been kind of waiting their turn. And so it's a lot of fun right now. Now, today, I told you after practice, today we saw a pretty good separation between, some of the young freshmen and some of our veteran guys because, a day like today, I mean, it'll jump on you if you're not pretty mentally screwed in. And, some of our guys that have been through the fires, I mean, they excelled today. And some of those young kids kind of withered a little bit. So, it's kind of part of preseason camp, but, everybody's got to fight through it.
We always talk about the camp and being the dog days of summer, and it's a grind. But, as far as what you just said, elaborating on that, the guys that have been through it, they kind of almost know how to pace themselves, don't they?
Well, they're not mentally weak is the big thing.
Right.
They don't let stuff, jump all over them. They prepare their bodies. They get rest when they have time to rest. They take care of their bodies nutritionally and hydration-wise, and so they prepare themselves for it. And they also understand that they've got to go out there and perform every day. If you take a day off, or if you don't fight through stuff, you're going to get passed up. There's too much competition out there.
When you look at the position battles that are going on, obviously the quarterback position is the one that most fans see. That's the one everybody talks about. Can you give us an update on how Mason's doing, how Alex is doing, and how Raheem is doing?
Well, I think both, all three of them. And I told Raheem before practice today, it was rough in the spring. He looked like a first semester player, but he is massively improved this fall. And functioning very well. I think Alex and Mason have both been really good. Now, I think Mason, had another strong day today where he made some plays, both throwing it, he made some plays running it, and he is starting to really come along. So I'm really excited about all three. And just excited about some of the plays that were made today.
And, you look at Mason, he's waited so long, and it's almost like with some of these guys, and I think I remember it with Holton, at some point, the light just comes on and they understand things more, the game slows down for them, and I think when you look at your quarterbacks, I mean, that's what you're kind of looking for.
Right, and, people forget, now Holton got thrown out there young.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a whole lot around him. And he made a lot of mistakes the first couple of years. And, it was what it was. The program was in a different place then. Mason's had to wait his time. But now Mason's taking the field much more prepared, and Mason's taking the field with a good roster around him. And so it's a little bit of a different situation. But, I think it does say a lot about Mason's character that he has been sat there behind Holton And, Holton was a different player the last 2 years compared to his first couple of years, But Mason's been preparing for this, ever since he got here. It's his turn now.
Another guy that I think that you see him out there smiling and you see him out there running, and it just does something to your heart, is Rajay Harris. I mean, this guy, what a great kid he is. He had that devastating injury. He's battled back, and one of the first things you said after the first practice was, there's a mental side of this thing that he's got to get hit and got to get back up, and it looks like he's doing great things out there.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. You would never know he had an injury. And I'm not worried about his mental state anymore. I mean, he's been banged on and popped back up, and there's no hesitation in him. And he had a great practice today. So, he is, that room is really talented now. And he has a lot of competition in there. But the thing is, he is doing great things not only on the field, but from a leadership standpoint, with all of our offensive kids and all of our players. He's doing a great job with that. I mean, his energy today was great. You'd have never known it was hot at all.
And, you talked about that running back room. It's really difficult to keep that running back room stocked, because it always seems like the running backs are the ones that get dinged up and something happens. But you've got a really good group, and a lot of those guys can contribute.
No doubt. And the good thing is you're going to be able to play a lot of guys, and you should be able to keep everybody healthy. Hopefully you don't have that one big injury or anything like that. But you got so many guys that, you're not going to have to just lean on one guy, because he usually gets worn down when you have to do that. You're going to be able to play a lot of different players.
Tomorrow you guys hit for the first time with full pads, but it's been pretty physical so far, hasn't it?
Yeah. There ain't a whole lot of difference.
That's right.
We will tackle to the ground is the only thing that will change tomorrow, but it'll be real football. I mean, we've got, I think, three or four segments of practice where it is just, a competition. We have a 2-point competition to start practice. We've got a goal line short yardage competition to finish practice. You got some stuff in between, but we're trying to make sure that this week we put them in every possible situation where this scrimmage this Saturday, which typically the first scrimmage is not quite, game-like just yet. But I felt like for an experience purposes, we want to play these next 2 Saturdays very much like a full game, special teams, offense, defense, and let everything play out. So, there's going to be a lot of competition tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of competition throughout the week.
On Sunday, you guys took that tour at the Joiner Library of the kind of the history of East Carolina football. What was that like?
And I thought it was awesome. Seeing Clarence Stasovich's handwritten playbook.
Yeah,
that was really neat. And then just seeing all the pictures over the years of the different teams and players and coaches and the different big moments in the history of ECU football. I thought it was fantastic. I think our older players, they really took it in, because they are living right now their legacy. And I told them, I said, years from now you'll be a part of that exhibit. You're a part of East Carolina University football and its history. And the young guys, I don't know if it really hit them yet, but I thought the older players, it really sunk in.
Had to be just neat to see all the old things. And when they first opened up the Hall of Fame, I remember talking to the AD at the time and saying that, like, this is like my whole career right here in front of me, because, the 91 season, the 92 Peach Bowl, you think back to the Hawaii Bowl, just some of the great events in Pirate football history. And I know it's kind of breathtaking. And to see some of that stuff like that had to be really important for you and important for the players and that kind of thing. All right, so you hit for the first time. You got full pads for the first time coming up tomorrow, leading up to that first scrimmage. What are some of the little things you really want to tweak and look at this week to get ready for that first scrimmage?
Well, I think the big thing is, putting all the different situations in. Like I said, tomorrow we'll put in goal line short yardage. We'll start installing our 2-point plays, 2-point defense. Will be a heavy red zone competitions this week, getting our guys ready for those situations. And then, like today, we kind of mixed up the lineups a little bit, getting some different guys in the game together. And I think we'll continue to do that throughout the week because, like I said, you're starting to figure out who's going to play, and now we got to figure out where they're going to play. Just because a guy's been at this one position, doesn't mean he can't, do something somewhere else. And so we're just trying to figure out how to get our best lineups together on the field.
And you think about 2-point defense, 2-point plays on offense, and back in the day, it was almost like an afterthought because you didn't use them that much. But now with the overtime rules, I mean, you've really got to concentrate on those two aspects of football, don't you?
Well, you look at the Memphis game last year, and that really was a turning point in our season, and 4 overtimes. And we about exhausted our 2-point plays. But we had worked them so much, and we'd worked our defense versus 2-point plays so much that our kids, I mean, they didn't flinch, and it was really neat. I did a clinic in the spring, and I showed cut-ups of us running certain things in practice in our 2-point competition, and then I showed it during that overtime against Memphis. Both sides of the football, and just it's really for me rewarding to see. Kids take that practice, and take that up those times you put them in those pressure situations in practice, and then go out and execute on the game, on the game field in the biggest moments of the game, and come away successful.
Closing things out with head coach Mike Houston, because he's been on that practice field all morning. He said he'd give us a few minutes, and we certainly appreciate it. Coach, what's your favorite part of camp, and what's your least favorite part of camp?
My favorite part of camp is out there on the field with the kids. And just seeing them play, had a red zone competition today, and watching Mason throw the slot fade to Jalen Johnson and hit a strike right there for a touchdown. I love watching them compete and excel. So that's easily my favorite part of camp. My least favorite part of camp is leaving the house before anybody's awake and getting home by the time they're going to bed.
Yeah, I bet.
Not seeing your family a whole lot and not getting a whole lot of sleep, but that's okay. We all understand what this time of the year is.
Yeah, you got to get ready for the long season to come, the grind of August, and it turns into the season. The season goes by so quick, but once you hit it, you hit the ground running. But I know camp is really difficult, but it's different now because you guys don't get a chance. You go out one time to practice. You don't have 2-a-days or 3-a-days like they used to have.
Right. Yeah. I started talking to the kids a little bit about everybody's been through preseason camp before, and I was thinking, when I was a freshman, we practiced 3 times a day. Two in full pads, another one in shells. And so the rules have changed so much. But, I think, the kids, the training and, their explosiveness and all that is also different now too. But it's definitely evolved over the years. Now, I did have one question for you.
Uh-oh, here we go.
With that exhibit up there, were you really around for all those Southern Conference championships?
No, I was not around. I got here in '84, so when I got here, that's why the Peach Bowl was so special. Because I got here in '84, and they hadn't been to a bowl game in forever, and all of a sudden they started having a great year in '91, and I mean it was crazy. I want to see if they put any of my mustache hairs in one of those exhibits because the players shaved my mustache at the Hooters in Atlanta because they made it a bowl game. They wanted to shave my head, but they ended up shaving my mustache, and I told them I wouldn't grow it back in honor of them. The only reason I do grow it back is during Mustache March for ALS that we do with Coach Godwin and the baseball team. But yeah, I wasn't around for all those teams in the Southern Conference.
But the color of your mustache is a lot different than it used to be.
Yeah, the color is way different. You can't even. I told Coach Godwin you can't even see it most of the month because it's white. But yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. I'm the elder statesman these days.
Hey, you're only as old as you act.
That's exactly right. Only as old as you act and only as old as you feel. Coach, thanks so much. Get cool, and good luck the rest of the way in summer camp. We'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right, that's head coach Mike Houston over at East Carolina as the Pirates continue with fall camp.